Hello. Hello, hello. Testing this mic. Got it closer. See how things go. I see a comment from Rebel Star. How are you? Let's get this moved over. Okay, good. Twitch is working on my phone, so we're good to go. Although my music is a little loud in my headphones, so I'm gonna turn it down a bit. There we go. All right, let's get this moved over. Nice, as you can see, we are back here on the other side, so to say. It is yet another week, and that means more time for streaming. Let's see, I hope you're doing okay. I'm doing all right, thank you for asking. I am going to say right now that I'm not sure how long this stream will run. It will depend on what we complete today, but I am very tired. I didn't sleep very well last night, and so mainly I'm just trying to get whatever we had planned through today, and then we're gonna stop. I'm not sure if it will be 2 hours, it might take the whole time, but I'm just kind of giving you guys a heads up. If I'm not quite as talkative, it's because I'm very exhausted. So thank you for your patience. That's really, I think, the only thing I had to say about that. I did want to briefly just show off some of my stuff before we get started today. As you can see here on the agenda, I have put masking and painting the purple blacks. And when I say that, I'm referring to these frill colors. So you also have to be very patient with my camera today. It was like not working properly and just not focusing. And so it might focus in and out. But these are the blacks, but they're really just more of a purple that we're thinking of. And so this will be the focus of what we're doing today. I hope you sleep better. Thank you. Me too. I think after the stream, I'm just gonna go lay in bed and conk out, and then that way I have a nice productive Wednesday. But I didn't want to cancel tonight because I really wanted to work on this and get Mero-chan going. And so don't worry, we still got lots to do here. And so what did we do last time? Basically, we masked off all of the areas that we were going to paint green, and then we ended up base coating all of the green, but we did not do the shading on it. And so I went ahead and did that ahead of time. Let me show off the pieces real quick, and we will be masking these today, so you'll be seeing lots of them as well. And so here is an example of the shadings on the green, and as you can see, they came out beautifully. She's got this, really cute skirt. I guess it'd be easier if I put it together as well. So let me put the skirt together. There we go. So you can see the skirt is really cute. It's super glossy right now because we're going to be doing the masking and I don't want any of the paint to come off. So yeah, I think it came out really nice. I did go in a little heavier with some of the shadings kind of down here to give it some dimension. This will be the front of the skirt, and so she'll have that kind of like dress thingy in front, and then here is the back, so you can see all of the airbrush shadings. Those are not well, some of it's light cast from the shadows, but a lot of it is the added airbrush shadows, kind of just lightly going in and out. And so colors are very like nice green on my screen. They're a little bit more olivey and yellow in person, so but it doesn't look bad. It looks pretty nice on the camera, so can't complain. And here, let me move this over here. Thank you. Yeah, I think it looks all right. Here's the other piece. So let's get this focused. Like I said, it just doesn't want, there we go. So you can see, oh my God, there we go. So the inside here has been shaded. I've kind of went in and shaded the sides here. As well as kind of these areas. She's got some, I don't know, folds in the back of the dress here, as well as here. And so all of those have been accentuated with the airbrush. Basically went through the same process that we have been talking about, where we kind of went in lighter with the base color and then darker with that shading color, and I think it ended up great. So we'll be working with these pieces again today because we have areas like these we're going to be masking off and spray painting that kind of dark purple black color. So that was our plan today. I also have little feeties that we're going to be masking off. So we'll be masking, I'm trying to point and look at the camera, masking off these tiny shoes and painting them tonight as well. So that's the plan. And we might as well just get right to it. Hello, Necro Clancy. Thank you. Yeah, I think they look pretty good so far. We'll have to see, you know, the final pieces. I didn't actually show her arms because she had those sleeves, and I put them away because at this point they're pretty much considered done, and I didn't want them to interfere with anything. We also have these like tiny ones, and those have been sprayed as well. You can see the one shading here, and they've been kind of cleaned up. And so I left them on my bench. Mostly I wasn't sure what I was gonna do with them, but I think what we're gonna do, what is this? There's like a little hair on here. I'll get it off later. What I think we're gonna do is go ahead and just enamel paint these. Yeah, I think I'm gonna enamel paint the center because that is supposed to be that kind of dark purple. Doesn't make sense to me to mask off all this stuff and just spray it. Although, who knows? We'll see how it goes. But this looks like something really easy to hand paint. And I wasn't really sure about these kind of small circles in between either. Whether I wanted to airbrush them or hand paint them. I think it will depend on the final color of the bright color that I end up with. I know we were talking about using maybe purple or orange, and now I'm not sure anymore. I'm like kind of going back to orange, and so I'm gonna have to do some thinking tonight and tomorrow about it, especially because these purple blocks are gonna be painted, and then really all we have left to do is mask and paint off those details and paint these like lemon oranges. We have these to do as well. So these are also on the agenda. And I have this little bird that I haven't even started either. I've been kind of avoiding showing it because I completely forgot about it. So we'll see. I don't think that one's going to be on stream. I think I'll just try to catch up and finish it. But anyway, tonight we're going to get back at the masking and just continue what we did kind of on Tuesday, but this time we're masking off the frill portion, so that the bulk of the dress to paint the frills, and then the bulk of her kind of legs and stuff to paint smaller shoes and things. So you'll see what we mean. But first we gotta cut our masking tape, so we're gonna cut that 1 millimeter. Got this, got my tweezers. There we go. So nice little 1 millimeter thing here. I'm gonna pull this over here just so we have a space to put our pieces and stuff. And this is the piece we're gonna work on first. So we're gonna mask off these tiny shoes as best we can, and then we're going to probably saran wrap the rest of it. And let's see, what's an easy way to do this? Probably just take this off. The thing about this, and actually what I might do instead, I'm gonna set this little piece to the side, and I have this kind of longer piece here. I think I'm just gonna cut a bunch of tiny squares. Yeah, and put them along the shoe. I think that will be easier. This is such a small area that lining it up a bunch might not make sense. Okay. I'm gonna try to keep the space clear so you guys can see the focus. However, again, the camera is being a little fussy tonight, so if I'm like consistently out of focus, just shoot me a comment, because I'm looking at my Twitch on my phone, but not so much back at my camera on my laptop. So okay, so we're gonna do tiny squares. And another reason that I am doing this is because there's this little indent. I think you guys can see it where it kind of defines the shoe. That gives us a little bit of a buffer room if we wanted to like fill that area in with enamel and make it a little darker and like a shoe outline. And so even if we don't airbrush like all of this, we're still a little safe. We can paint over that later. one. We're working with really small tape here, as you can see. Okay, there we go. We're just kind of following the contour of this shoe. Oops. Trying to lift this piece up. Sometimes it's hard to when you get this tiny tape because then they get stuck to each other. Come on. Might need X-Acto knife for this. Yep, okay, there we go. I might be regretting tiny tape at this point. Maybe, let's see. Let me see if I can cut a little bit of this and see if it helps. Just a tiny bit. Not really. We will make do though. There's any number of ways that you can mask and figure things out. So I'll cut both and then kind of see what happens when I get to certain parts. Okay, put this here. This one. Oops, sorry. There's like this curve here that's a little bit tougher, so guess I have no choice but to do this. There we go. And I'm going to put this little tape here because there's a really small spot that was not covered up. Okay. And here. Oops, there's a hair here. There we go. So far, so good. Okay. Let's cut a few more. These ones are a little bit longer. Oh, this is a nice straight edge, so I should be able to just, yep, put that right across. Come on, camera. Wow, like I said, it's really, there we go, fussing today. Okay. Oh, that would help if that was the right way. There we go. That one might be a little problematic later. There's a very slight area here. There we go. Okay, and we'll cut just a couple more. Oops. So that should be all the way around, but I'm gonna look at this real quick and mask over anything again that kind of doesn't match up or looks a little odd, because we can always go in and clean this up with enamel later, especially because we're going to be hand painting some of the like hairband stuff. Alright, that looks pretty good. So what I'm gonna do now is probably take another piece of tape, and I'm gonna cut it and kind of wrap it around and lock these little tapes in place. And then we'll take another piece of tape and put some saran wrap on it and just wrap up the piece. That way we don't have to mask the whole thing. We only have to like have tape on a very small part. Okay. And I do that because I'm just risk aware of the fact that tape sometimes pulls up paint jobs. I swear I do everything to try to prep it correctly, but sometimes that paint just comes up. There's like one area you forget, then you're doomed. And so because of that, I just like don't apply as much tape. All right, so that's pretty good. It's all wrapped up around her ankle. Let's see. There we go. And so I'm gonna put another piece of tape kind of around this one, and I have a bunch of saran wrap here. So I'm going to cut a piece of the saran wrap. Actually, let's move this here and I'll just get that saran wrap ready. I cut kind of a big piece, and so I'm just gonna slice it. We'll barely need any for this. Okay. It's also like very staticky, so okay. Maybe like that. I don't know. Okay, so that should be okay. Hey, how you doing, Crapalina? Thanks for stopping by. No worries, I totally get the homework stuff. I too have lots and lots of homework that is always happening, so. Either way, you are welcome and I'm glad to see you. Okay. Feeling like blind today. I can't see the thingy. Maybe if I fold it a little. Whatever. We'll figure it out. Okay. So let's put this kind of along here. Just like so. And then we just wrap the piece up. And that's it. So the rest of this is all covered now. Come on. It's because it loves these lines. There we go. So really, like, you're protecting 3/4 of it. And then, yeah, we'll cover it up a little bit. The only problem I can see here is that, well, that actually works. It kind of like folds it in. Yeah, no worries, Crapalina. Always appreciate the view and the lurk. We're like a little more chill today because I'm pretty tired, so most of it will be like study music, which is good. Okay, so that's pretty much it for that piece. I'm gonna wrap this up just like this though, just in case. You never know. And let me give this one final look. Yeah, it's more or less good. We can always do a little bit of cleanup after that. So that's it for this piece. We're gonna prep the other foot now. So this is the other foot. Just right here is all we need. So technically you could, you know, just hand paint this if you really wanted to, but we are airbrushing everything else, so we might as well just, you know, do this as well. Move this back here. Yeah, thanks guys. Glad I'm calm enough and my stream is relaxing enough to do things like reading. That's always nice. I have a lot of trouble focusing when I hear other people talking, so I appreciate you guys doing it for my stream. Alright. Same thing here. Although this piece is a little more straightforward, so we might not need as many tiny tapes. This one we might even be able to use some of that really small thing. I can words today, I'm so sorry. Okay, there we go. Got this really small tape. And let's see how much of that. Probably not. Then we need constant background noise. Enjoy the commentary. Oh, good. That makes me happy. At least it's useful. Hi, how are you doing, Seacrease? Glad to see you in here. Sorry, I was just laying a tape down, so I had to be focused for 1 second. Come on, camera. I swear to God. Once I like put it up, it's fine. It's just like getting it there. I might need to cut this a little bit more. There we go. Pretty good, prepping for a craft show. Oh, wow. Like an actual in-person one, not like a COVID virtual one. That's exciting. And I'm doing all right. I'm feeling pretty tired today, so if it sounds like I'm not enthusiastic about garage kits, I always am. I'm just very tired. But we are here and we are having a time. Just a time. All right. I think... No, I'm gonna use the little tiny strips for this, so I need to cut it. I've got any number of these little small ones here, so let's see. Cut that. And you get like tape fingers very quickly, at least I do, because I like just hold them all on my finger. There we go. Oh, thank you very much. That one was a commission for a client, and so sadly I don't have that Astolfo in my possession. He was a really great build. I very highly recommend that particular figure. The sculptor's name was Orz, O-R-Z, and that cast was phenomenal. It was like one of the best casts I've worked on recently. Very little cleanup needed on it. The pieces all fit really well. Sculpt is ultra cute, and Sculpt it was actually ultra detailed too. The photos don't really show it off, but he was packing in that Sculpt and he had this really like well-defined tummy, and it was just like a really beautiful Sculpt, and so I had a lot of fun shading it and working with that kit. Nobody really got to see it, although I think on my website there's a photo and I took of his butt, because he has the way it's posed, like his skirt kind of flips up so you can see his booty. It's like a very like scandalous once you like look closer, but when you like just look at the main photo, you're like, oh, he's so cute. So that's also kind of why I liked taking that project on. Thought it was pretty funny. But yeah, if you guys ever come across the Astolfo Orz figure, that one was a really nice solid build. Whoops, there you go. Hopefully, yeah, we're good. Okay, I was afraid we got scratched there for a second, but that's the benefit of sealing. All right. Okay, so we're approaching that kind of corner again, and so I'm just gonna start putting these tapes very slowly along it. Let's see, I looked at your links again to see more pictures of it. That's not the first time I've heard that. I always hear, oh, you're that Munto. Yeah, so I go by Munto, I go by Plum Workshop. Munto is like my catch-all screen name that I use for a lot of things, and so like Plum Workshop is the official handle, like the commission handle, right? And so you can call me either. Like, honestly, most people know me as Munto. I am that Munto who made the guide on MFC that, you know, a lot of people use. Thank goodness. I'm so happy that a lot of people use it. And the same Munto where if you're coming across the old garage kit entry, it was probably me or like 3 other people because we were the only people who cared enough to upload them back then. So my name's all over the place on that website. Oh, good times. Yeah, that was I was one of the main ones. I think last time I checked, I had uploaded over 10,000 garage kits. Not an exaggeration. Like, I had actually uploaded over 10,000 garage kits onto MFC before I eventually mostly left the website. So, you know, if it's an OC or something, you know, it's just I probably have my name on it. You're in a Discord server where you hunt for pictures of figures or GKs. Yeah. I was very big on that. Still am, you know, still like whenever I see an old one, it's a good thing. But yeah, nobody at that time was really uploading them or caring, and so I kind of made it my thing because I enjoyed looking through old stuff, much like, you know, you guys probably enjoy doing that as well. But at that time there was no record, and so just pray that MFC never dies, because a lot of those old entries and those old photos are kind of lost to time. Some of them I can't even find through Wayback Machine or anything anymore, so it's, you know, it's kind of the only website that has some of that info. So if you like a kit or something, make sure to save the photo on your hard drive, because you never know what will happen. But yeah, I'm very like proud of you know, the work I did there, and kind of got a lot of people into finding and looking at those old kits. So glad to hear that you guys are still using the resources. Okay. That's what it's all about, is sharing the love of the kits. Oops. I think that sums that up. Thank you. Yeah, who knew? I had no idea, you know, doing all of that so many people would use it as a resource later. It's kind of crazy when you look back on it, because it was like an entirely selfish thing. I was just like, I just love looking, so I'm gonna do it. And then obviously I wanted to help the community at the time. MFC was a lot different back then when I was uploading compared to how it is now. I can say that for sure. And so now I'm not on it, but I have noticed people uploading things, and whenever stuff conveniently pops up that I own, I do add it to my collection. There were like 3 kits uploaded either like yesterday or some couple days ago, and I was like, oh my god, someone like upload that thing from 2012 and I have it, you know, I got it for free, blah blah blah. Actually, I might even have it in my drawer. Let me see. There's 2 kits that I have kept in a tiny drawer. Oh, I might have moved them. So it was like these 2 tiny figures from the sculptor named Figure Neat. And at the time, I've owned them for, you know, almost 10 years. And I never uploaded them to MFC because I was like, nobody cares or is gonna have them. And today someone uploaded them, and so I was like, what the hell? All right, I guess I'll just mark them as own. So that's just so interesting to me. You know, the database is always updating, whether it's like old stuff or new stuff, you know, it's always evolving. So, all right, let's get this last layer down here, and then we're gonna saran wrap the rest of it. So yeah, anyone uploading MFC still, you guys are awesome. Still working with that janky ass website. Not even gonna say anything good. It's janky as hell now. Okay, there we go. So let's cut some more saran wrap. As you can see here, we've now like masked off this whole foot. So we're gonna just spray it all, and you know, it's a pretty tiny area, but that means less hand painting later, so can always be good with that. Got nothing against hand painting, but it just takes a while. Oops. All right. So let's see. Cut some more of this. Okay. Oh my gosh, the saran wrap's sticking to me. Okay. So, oops, I guess I don't need this. It's kind of whatever. All right, so, oh, I hear my cat, so he might come in. Just kind of FYI. Grab some more tape. Oh, hi, Rocket. Rocket's peeking in. I bought him a rug so that right now, like, I have my workbench and everything, and right behind me I have this like 5x7 rug, and it's got my detolf and everything on it, full of my kits. But Rocket, my cat, used to have a rug in that location, and he loved it. And then eventually, like, he had an accident, and I ended up like trying to wash the rug, and it didn't work out, and so he hasn't had a rug there for a long time. But we bought a new rug just like a couple days ago and put it down, and he's like in love with it, and he just plays on it. And so if you hear action, like, that's probably him being really excited and playing on the rug again, because he's a pretty big boy. This is way more saran wrap than I need. Whatever, I'm just gonna wrap this. But yeah, so he hasn't like had a space to play because he likes playing on carpet, and most of the house is like wood floor and tile and stuff, and so yeah, if you hear him, that's what's going on. This is way more saran wrap than needed, but what the hell, why not just do this? And also, he got a new water fountain. He's living in luxury. He's drinking out of his new water bowl now, so he'll be a very happy cat. All right, this is fully wrapped, as you can see. There's like no way that any of this paint is gonna get on anything except for this tiny foot, and so that's the goal here, is just mainly to cover everything without needing to put all the tape all over it. And so that is pretty much those two pieces. The next set of pieces we are going to mask off is her dress. So I think I showed this, yeah, I already showed this off, but we have these beautiful shadings that ended up all right. But now what we gotta do is mask off this top part here, because we're gonna paint the frilled part this color. So we wanna make sure it kind of matches like that. So to do that, we're gonna have to mask off the kind of bottom here. So she's got this kind of line here, you can see. And then she's got this whole top here. And so we're gonna work first on this line, and then, you know, same deal, just kind of put whatever here, put some saran wrap. Let me check actually. So we have two options here. We can use the 1mm tape and see if that fits, or I can cut an even smaller tape and see if that fits. So I have a piece of 1 here, so let's see. And it's gonna have to be pretty precise. Oh, and we're also gonna paint the back. So we're gonna paint all of this black as well. So the only thing we need to like cover is the front here. Let me cut this. This tape is kind of going off a bit. All right. So we might be able to just get away and use the one. Sorry, there's like a rocket here. This might be a little tough. Let's see. Let me see if I can cut a smaller tape. And we can even double up on that tape if needed. Okay, so we've been cutting this 1 here. Let's see. We've been cutting this 1, and we're gonna do a 0.75 now. So it's like 1 step smaller than the thin ones we've been cutting. And that's why I love this tool so much. It just kind of gives you these exact dimensions. And as long as you cut against the metal frame, you get that at pretty much every time, so. There we go. So very small. And it's a little more manipulable. Is that even a word? Okay. I have this little guiding thing. This might be tough. What I might do is kind of start somewhere random and then push it down. And the reason I'm doing this and not like starting here and folding over is because if you fold it over, it tends to kind of peel up. And then you end up with like off spray and it gets in the way. I don't know if that makes sense at all. This though is not working as well as I thought. Oh, that might work. I might have to just put this on in bits. And like cut small strips and do it that way. Yeah. Because it's like gonna struggle to kind of fold back and forth, I think. So let's just cut bits and kind of go along and see. And we'll clean up this area after we spray it as well. Okay. So it's a process to get there sometimes, to get everything masked. But the goal is always, if you do it well, you have a lot less cleanup later, so. Okay, Rocket just fell asleep on the rug, so there it does not look like there will be any playing tonight, just sleeping, which is fine. Okay, should. Okay, there we go. Hopefully you guys are able to see this. So we're slowly masking our way across, and we might need like 1 or 2 layers of it. But thankfully it looks like that 0.75 is thin enough. And then the front part here, this will be fairly straightforward. We'll just put a thin line. But I just really want to be careful of this section here. Okay. It's a little excessive, but that's just kind of how I do things, so. There might be a couple areas that we miss putting it on this way, but okay, and let's cut a little bit more. Getting it on my finger again. Alrighty. Okay, that way. This is why we do the 0.75, because I'm trying to point it, it's so small. Right here it basically lines up along the frill. If it were any bigger than that, it would start to kind of fold over. which is okay, but again, you risk it peeling up then. Let's see. Would temporarily masking the frill with tape and then covering the green and masking fluid work? Yes, that's another way that you can definitely get across doing that. And so what people tend to do is they like mask off a really thin area. We actually did that with the sleeves on last Thursday. I don't remember. But anyway, we did that thin line and then we put kind of a line of masking fluid. That'll definitely help out as well. And what some people do is they put that masking fluid line down, or they put the thin tape line down and then they cover that with masking fluid to make sure it doesn't stick up. Does that kind of answer your question? I feel like I didn't properly address it. Okay, good. The only problem like I have with masking fluid is that it is fluid, and so if you're trying to get these lines to look like really clean, you risk that fluid kind of seeping under your tape and then basically bypassing the mask job. And so what you do is you lay down your thin tape first and then you put the masking fluid on top of that. And so as long as this tape is laid down, it shouldn't peel up from the fluid. I have tended to use masking fluid more these days. It really depends on the project and what your objective is. Okay. If this were a flat line, this would be a lot easier, but because this skirt is like curved, it's a little easier for me to work with these small bits of tape and just kind of work my way around. You can kind of see it here. There we go. So kind of work our way slowly around. I also have this gap like here. I'm gonna tape that down later, but I want to make sure I get all of this down first. Let's see, I really only use putty. It's weird stuff. Yeah, putty is interesting. Are you saying that you mask with I'm trying to think of the word. Again, I'm so sorry, I'm so tired. Silly putty? Like, do you mask with silly putty? Because I have seen people do that as well. Oh, this is gonna be a very thin one. I actually have this interesting putty. I won't bring it out, but it's meant for masking, and you supposedly just stick like this putty on it and it covers it up, and then you can peel it off afterwards, and it's not supposed to affect your paint job. Let's see, the stuff you use is meant for camouflage patterns on model takes. Oh, interesting. I am not familiar with whatever that is, but it sounds like it would work and it sounds interesting. I'm gonna cut a little bit more of this 0.75. So I'm just laying down that layer. And let's get this. There we go. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, go ahead and drop the link and I'll look. I might have seen it in passing. I just can't think of it. Let's see. Let me click that real quick before I continue peeling this tape off. Oh, that's my school account. That's no good. Sure. Oh. Okay, yeah, this is very similar to like the silly putty type stuff. But it looks like, that's interesting. Yeah, it just looks like kind of a stretchy putty that you lay down, right? And then you can get these kind of camouflage patterns or whatever. I've seen people do similar things with like silly putty or blue tack. Blue tack is used in Japan too, or at least the similar whatever brand. Some people use it when they're painting eyes and they cover up the face with the putty. Okay, I'm gonna put this on the side. I haven't used putties quite as much, just because I am not as familiar with them, and so I always get a little hesitant when I've already painted a piece and then trying something new. So you don't want to rip up their paint job. So if you have a kit that you're just like experimenting with, that's like a good opportunity to use tools that you haven't used before. All right, let's get this continued. Less grainy than blue tack, more like silly putty. Okay, interesting. And it's always cool because you can like reuse it too. So that's the cool thing about a lot of those putties is that they're more eco-friendly, I guess. Okay, I don't need as much here. Although I can't help but wonder like how like nasty they'll get. Like, are you supposed to wash your putty? I don't know. That's something I would need to look into. Okay, there we go. There's a short bit here. Let me see if I can cut some more one. I have a small strip of 1mm here. And this one's kind of a thicker line, so I might be able to, yeah, get away with using it. There we go. Sorry if I'm peeling this off screen and you guys can't see it. Basically, we're just still doing the putty laying down, or the paper tape laying down. Okay, cut that. Actually, this is kind of whatever. We can leave that on. All right, and there was one other area here on this side that I wanted to make sure I did not forget. It's a very small portion. This one might work. Just kind of folds around. Okay. Not happy with that. Let's see if I can pull it up. There we go. Oh, it's such a small portion. Okay. Okay, any rest we can just clean up, like with enamel, that's fine. Technically, we like won't really see this anyway because it'll be facing like this. So ideally, that's what will happen. All right, so let's look real quick along here. Lay this down. This section's kind of weird, but it's fine. Okay, there's a couple areas here that I'm gonna cover up again. Kind of just really small bits, and we can always wipe it later, so that's fine. All right, sorry, this is where I get kind of like obsessive about details and placement. Dang it. Trying to like lift this one up and it just takes off this whole thing. There we go. In case you guys haven't heard me say it a million times before, masking is my least favorite part of the whole kit building process. Because it's like tedious, you have to be super precise. Often than not, like I still end up messing it up. It usually rips up my paint job, and so I complain about it. So sorry. I think we'll leave that for now, and what we're gonna do is put a slightly kind of longer piece across the top now, and then put that saran wrap on some of it. All right, so I have this piece here. I'm going to start here. Okay, might have the same situation here. I'm gonna cut a couple bits. That's literally what this is. I'm not even, yeah. Oh, yeah, it's just, that's what it is. If you want to get like real crazy, what people do, or what you can potentially do, is seal things in 2K clear, or like polyurethane clear, and then that way what you would do is you'd spray like the whole piece in the clear, and that's like an indestructible clear coat, and then you can spray your lacquer just right on top and then wipe everything away. But what I'm talking about now is like not stuff at all for beginners or even intermediates in the hobby. So, and I don't even do that myself. I don't work with polyurethane or 2K clears because they're a whole different level of toxicity. And so for our purposes, we are just gonna sit here and mask and enjoy music. All right. That. So we're just masking the bottom. Okay. And get a little bit more. This I'm gonna cut. And I love how I was like, I don't think this will take so long, but we've already been masking for like almost an hour. I always forget how much time masking takes, and I'm masking for this other project that I'm working on, and I'm like, oh yeah, I got like an hour to do this, and an hour goes by and I have something like masked and that's it. So it just be how it is. So if you're masking, just be aware that you'll have to build in time into your schedule for it. All right, so we got that. I think that's pretty much okay. What we're gonna do now is try the saran wrap, although I'll have to cut like a really small square because we're gonna be painting the other side of this. So, let's see. Oops. I have an idea. Okay, so let's get this folded. Cut some tape. So I got my tape, just putting it on my finger to make it a little bit less sticky so it doesn't rip up my paint job. It's a little bit less likely to do that. And okay, so let's cut this in half. Put this here. Oops. There. Okay. And let's just start here. Oh man, I should have done. Started here. Okay. We'll change it. There we go. Okay. So there's planning involved here. Sorry guys. Trying to get the least amount of tape, because what we could also do is just put tape all over this, but I really don't want to do that because I like this shading job and I get wary. Okay, there we go. So we'll put tape down here. Not really caring much about this. I'm not sure if that even matters, but I will try to probably leave that alone. There. Okay. Now we're gonna tape our way across here. Some of this I'll probably have to break into squares. And even though it looks like a lot's covered by the tape, it's not. Like the tape is covering the saran wrap, so it's a very small portion. Okay, that, and then a little bit more. Guess we don't really care about the little toothies on it either. Okay. The saran wrap is also flexible, which makes it nice. You can just kind of like fold it as needed. All of this build up, and only thing we're gonna be painting is this, man. Okay. That I can also cut if I need to. Oops. Okay, there we go. And let's cut a little bit of this off. Also kind of fold this back. Having this inner part here complicates things slightly, but we're still good. Okay, and the last part, let's get just a little bit of tape up here. Good enough. That's honestly, it's good enough. Okay, so that should be this piece. And so let me get a little bit more on this one spot I missed, and then we'll move ourselves to the other frill. There we go. Okay, there's like one area. So this should cover pretty much everything. You just want to make sure that it lays flat down. But all of this surface here is all covered. Majority of this is not covered with tape. It's really like only this small section down here. So, but you can see some of it is kind of starting to lift up a little. So before we paint, I'll just have to remember to kind of press down. And again, if you have liquid mask, that will help as well, keeping stuff pressed down. All right, so let's do the other one. And put this back. Okay, this one has a lot more back and forth, but the size looks pretty good. I think we can stick with the 0.75. So let's cut some more tape. Honestly, at this rate, I think all we'll pretty much have time to do is all the masking and then the base coating again. And then tomorrow I can wrap up any shading if needed. I don't think there will be much shading required for this, mainly because there's not really any room for that. A lot of what we're shading are just the frills, and so what will happen most likely is we'll get all of the base coat down on all of this, and then I'll go in and do some shading just right up against the actual part of the dress, and that way we'll have that 2 dimensions of color. We'll have that purple and then kind of a darker black shading, and that will balance really well against the natural shadings, because you can see there's like a bit of shadow cast from the dimension of the skirt. So we're not looking for anything super crazy here. This is still a chibi kit, and so there's no pressure to do like a ton of deep shading or anything like that. But on the main pieces like the skirt, that's really where I wanted to focus much of the work, as well as her hair. I think her hair ended up super cute. Ended up not changing anything at all from that stream that we had. And it is all coming together. After I had like finished the skirt and painted this color, I compared it to everything, and it's all looking very nice. So far I'm very pleased with what we've done. I think the big thing now is going to be figuring out what that accent color is, because the way this is coming out in person, I think the oranges will still really work well, but I can't decide. There's a possibility I might not even do purple anymore. I might just go like fuchsia magenta, and so, oh man, I just don't know. In my defense, that's usually how my original kit's building goes. I have a general concept in my mind a lot of the time, and then I just kind of go with whatever it ends up wanting to be. That sounds kind of silly, but sometimes you just know when it goes on a kit and it changes. Let's see, to be honest, orange, purple, or magenta all sound cool. Yeah, that's part of why I have this trouble deciding. It's like the Whoopie Pie did such a beautiful job with the natural colors of this, the paint job that she originally did, that, you know, sometimes you just want to paint it exactly how the sculptor painted it, and there's no need to like reinvent the wheel all the time. And so I think the orange would still look really nice, but I also think that the purples would look really nice, and the magenta. So I don't know. To be continued. All right, let's get just a few more little ones here. Luckily we have these kind of longer strands, and so we can just lay down longer bits of tape. Okay, this one, the curve gets a little bit wider, so that it's not 0.75 millimeters anymore. Curve it up a little bit. That one's gonna need another tape. Oops. So much tiny tape. Okay. I tend to go with default paint schemes, people with better color sense than you have done all the hard work. That's very true. Yeah, sometimes just going with whatever the person intended is a very safe bet, and you know it's gonna look good. I think it like very much depends if you like already like that color scheme, or if you have a certain attachment to the figure and you know you're feeling inspired a certain way, etc. I think that most of the time I tend to paint OCs differently than what a sculptor does, and so for me this is a little bit unusual to follow Whoopie's color scheme for the most part, but part of why I wanted to keep it that way too is because this series of birds, the Mero-chan, etc., they're all based on the actual birds, and so this is based off of her figure is based off of a real bird in Japan, and so the color scheme is, you know, more or less similar to that. And so it seems weird for me to like say, oh, you know, this was an actual bird, but I'm gonna paint her like a blue bird, you know, like I'm just not feeling like that. So, and I've been wanting to paint yellow green for a while. I think at some point I had mentioned that, and so this is a very good opportunity to do that. All right, we're going back in the frill here. Just tedious. That's what I would say. It is just tedious work. Hopefully it's focusing okay. I have not seen anybody's problems or complaints, so I'm assuming things are okay. Oh man. I'm gonna skip that middle part and come back to it. It is very thin there. There we go. think this would be a case where liquid mask would work really well if you had time and you really wanted to be really precise about it. Because you would lay down this layer and then you would lay down, you know, a thin layer of tape kind of along this, and then you'd liquid mask in the middle portion. That would work really well. But for the sake of our time, I don't want to start taking out putty and doing all of that, so, or the mask, sorry. Okay, there we go. And let's get a little more. Oops, this one I think, yeah, folded over on itself. Also, if you're masking like this kind of fine, precise stuff and you have tweezers like this, just be very careful when you're laying down your tape with your tweezers, because otherwise you might end up scratching your paint job. I've done that any number of occasions on my kits with this type of tweezer. Okay. So far so good. I think we're about like 2/3 there, but I need to cut a little bit more tape. So put that here. Oops. It's getting very sticky. There's tape all over my bench. But we'll get through it tonight. I promise you we will finish this masking. Alright. Ooh, that kind of flew off. Okay. Back here. Put this down. Alright, cut a few more tapes. I really hate how these scissors just take all the focus away because they're so shiny and the camera's like, ooh. Okay, this one's a little tough because it gets really thin here. There we go. We'll cut a small piece off of this. And then lay that down. This one is gonna need a little bit more. Okay, and throw away this small piece. Oops, stuck on my finger. Oh no. There you go. Okay. Almost there. To the end of this. And okay, so there's still a couple small areas, mainly just right here, that I'm gonna get real quick, and then we'll start lining it again. Okay. This is gonna be so tough. Okay. Again, liquid mask would help here. Okay. Sorry if this is too close and you guys can't see it. I just need to get this small crevice real quick. Okay. Okay, that one might bite me in the butt. I might need to do some hand painting on that spot area later. And let's get up here. And probably use a small little square too. Okay. There we go. Okay. There's like a slightly larger portion there that I wanted to make sure was covered. Kind of same right here. If it would lay down. There we go. Okay. And take that off of my finger. Cut a tiny bit more. This is like not even the whole way across, which is why it takes a little longer to make sure everything's covered. If it was all exactly like 0.75, it would be much easier. All right, I think that is pretty much all of the bottom. So yeah, there's a couple spots here and there, but I think we'll be okay. So now what we're gonna do is line the bottom with some tape. Not like too picky on the size. I have this one here that's just cut, so hopefully it will be okay. Oh my god, there we go. You can see it kind of like forms these kind of ridges, and that's because it's not lying completely flat because we're curving it. So that's the thinner your tape is, the less you're gonna have those kind of ridges pop up, which is why I tend to go with such a small diameter at first. Or width, I guess, would be the appropriate term there. Okay, that should still be okay. There's a small bit here though, I think I can make that better. Nope, that's just how it's gonna be. Okay. Then we're gonna cut a few small squares here. Mainly because this area here is a little bit trickier and it's easier just to lay the tape down flat rather than try to curve it a bunch with these long strips. There we go. This is pretty much what we did like with this portion here. Remember, we cut all of those tiny tapes and just kind of laid them along the frills. Okay, that should be good, and let's continue. Oops. Again, this is starting to turn. Oh. Thought I heard rocket, but it was just something else. Okay, that's pretty good. There's a small portion here kind of sticking out, but that will be fine. But we still have a bit more area to cover, so I'm just gonna use the rest of this tape that we kind of had been cutting off and making smaller. And that's close call, excuse me, but still good. So that just rips that one off. Okay, and here. So, looks kind of crazy, but trust me, we're good. And so that should cover all of the bottom part and make it safe for spraying. So now we're just going to cover this up again really quick with saran wrap. And sadly, that's not all the masking we have tonight. There's one more piece we gotta mask, and then we will paint, assuming we still have time, which we should. And that will be her like back piece of her coat. The piece that I originally painted cream and then realized for whatever reason Whoopie Pie does not have her little top dress part be the same color as the back. The front and back aren't the same color. And so the front is like a nice white creamy portion and the back is the same color, the green. Alright. I don't know if this is the right size, but we will work with it. It's kind of small, but I think we can figure it out. All right, let's cut this. All right. This is a little longer. All right, what to do? Well, this is way too long. Let's see. It would work here though. We'll give it a try, I guess. Dang, did not cover it all the way. And it's too large to do stuff, so I might cut this in half and see if that helps. Yeah, that works. And whoops. Let's do this. Yep, that works too. So when you get these pieces like overlaying, these saran wraps overlaying each other, I just tend to put a little piece of tape down to cover the piece. And I think the rest, let's just cover that in tape. We don't need to be too crazy here. Because this is a wide tape, so you could just tape the whole thing. There we go. All right, and let's set this down. Okay, again, not like being too strict here. The main thing is as long as the front portion isn't covered, then that's fine. There's this kind of sticking up though, and so I want to make sure that that goes down, because that can tend to like peel up, which might be problematic later. All right, there we go. So this is all masked now. The only thing we will be focusing on the spray areas here, you know, and getting all of that done, as well as just the back. And so this should cover everything that we need covered. So there's one more piece we need to mask tonight. Thankfully, we'll be able to use tape for all of it, and so, you know, it shouldn't be too involved. But the last thing we need to work on is this, and so this is the back of her outfit. It will focus. And there are two particular areas here we need to mask. There's this line. Oh my god. Okay, move this. wait for this. Camera, why? There we go. So you guys can see the line kind of along the bottom of her tail coat or whatever this is here. We're gonna mask off the square kind of in the middle here of both. And then there's a line at the top of her outfit here that we're gonna mask off as well. Thankfully, these are all pretty straight lines, so it shouldn't take very long to do. We're gonna put tape down for everything, so we'll be able to, I think, pretty quickly get this done. Or at least quicker than, you know, trying to cut all these tiny lines and get all of that figured out. I'm gonna cut the 1mm for this set because we should be able to just kind of streamline it along the edge there. Let's put it up here. All right. Let's see what happens with their collar. It looks like green at the back and yellow at the front. Yeah, it is. And that's what's kind of weird to me too. I actually had to double check the Whoopie Pie image, but it is like black on the back part and orange in the front part. And so I don't know why that happened, why she does that. It seems super silly for me to like not have it be consistent. But you know what? I'm just gonna roll with it. I was like, all right, Whoopie. Have it two-toned, but okay. yeah. And I was like, I debated maybe doing the front part here in that, this kind of purple black that we're gonna paint, but I just feel like it would really clash with the rest of the colors that are gonna be pretty bright on the front, so that's why I decided against it. All right, this I'm gonna lay pretty close. It's also an uneven line, just kind of FYI. So if it seems like it's not going on in a straight line, that's because it's not carved in a straight line. Okay. There's a tiny bit of wiggle room here, I think. There we go. Okay, so that's down. I'm just gonna cut that and put it here. And let's focus on this section, which does not really matter where we start. Although I do like to start at a corner. So maybe we'll start at this end. Laying it down is always the hardest. That's kind of the right here is where it's a little tricky. Gets like uneven there. There we go. Ish. Okay, there we go. Unfortunately, did not cut enough. So we're just a little bit short, but that's okay. All right. Okay, let's do a bit more. I'm gonna cut some small squares actually so we can make up the difference for that small bit that we missed. Unfortunately, it also curves here, so I'm gonna have to put like 2 down. Okay, that should make it up. Yeah, that's okay. All right, so let's cut a small line here. Again, we don't want to break up the tape too much because then you risk your edges being uneven. So we try to get as much of this line down as possible as one piece of tape. Come on, oh my god. There we go. We try to get one line down as much as possible because that will eliminate the lines that may pop up if you just have like tape after tape after tape. Oh, I guess that would help if I was attaching this on the right side. Okay. And if it's just slightly too long, then I tend to cut it. Even if it's a little short, it's okay because the next line will make up for that difference. All right. So let's get this down. Again, dealing with an uneven sculpting line here. So we're gonna try to get, you know, as close to the sculpting line as possible. But even then it might we might go over the edge a little bit. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna cut this, and it actually kind of goes in an angle now. So we're gonna put a tape down like that. And then we're gonna put a tiny tape straight across as well, which I have here. Okay, oops. A little bit long, but that's fine. It'll be covered anyway. All right, and then we're gonna work on the other side, and then what we're gonna do is just like quickly cover all of this, and then we're pretty much good for spraying after that. Don't think this will be long enough. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna leave this tape here. Let's cut another one real quick. Thank you everyone for your patience during this masking time. I know it seems like it's so, you know, such an easy thing, but it's just so tedious, so. And we also, to be fair, we have a lot of pieces that we're painting this color too. This is one of the main accent colors, so after we paint these blacks, I think there's only a few more things, and then we're pretty much ready to start details. All right. And that mean, by details, I mean we're done with the airbrush and we're ready to start hand painting and doing the eyes and all of that. So we are actually nearing the end of our airbrushing. There will only be a couple more streams. get just the edge here cut off. Sometimes the edges get a little bit wonky, so it's easier to just cut them off. All right, let's get this. Help if I move this maybe. This tape is a little long. Oh, thank you, Seacrease. Hello, Cannon. Yes, every Tuesday, Thursday, my dude. Unless I say otherwise, that's when it's happening. I didn't put anything out today because I am pretty tired and I completely forgot. Okay. Cut this a little bit. This one ended up being pretty long, so let's do it there. Yeah, that ended up being a pretty good cut there, so. All right. Get a little bit of it over here. Okay. Should probably be working like the opposite, so like this. Yeah, let's do that instead. It's a little easier to hold it that way. Okay, this is very uneven, like it's almost rounded, so let's see what I can do about that. There's almost definitely gonna be some cleanup involved with this piece because it's just so uneven. There we go. Cut a little bit. Make sure that we're still in. Okay. Make sure we're still in appropriate stream category. There we go. All right. Last like long one. And then we'll fill this up real quick. Although now I think about it, we probably gotta tape some of the back too. Ugh. I really want this camera to focus, but I also want something that, like a safe spot for this if I drop it. Might run this stream a little bit later just so we can get all of the painting, base painting out of the way, or at least most of it. So just kind of FYI, we might run a little longer than the 10 my time. Okay. All right, this doesn't really have like a cutoff point. It just kind of like curves and then that's it. So we've met the point as far as I can tell. And so now what we need to do, so we have all the main area masked off. You can see we're gonna be painting all along the outside here. So we're gonna have to fill in the inside with the tape. And so there's not really you can do the liquid mask, but it's easier just to tape. And saran wrap is not really the appropriate thing to do here because there's just too little space. So you can do this any number of ways. You can just line it with the tape that you have. It all kind of depend on the size and the width of the tape that you have. And so I have a 10mm tape, and so as you can see, it covers up a good portion of the area. If it will let you guys see it. So you can see it already covers up most of the area, but we may have to go over it like, you know, once or twice with the smaller width of tape. And we'll just slowly work our way up, making sure that everything is covered, because anything that's not covered, especially in this region, is going to get sprayed black. Or in our case, like this kind of darker black purple. I hesitate to say black because a lot of times we're not spraying black, but it looks like close enough to black that most people would be like, oh, you're just spraying black. All right. It's bringing back fond memories. Masking memories. Yep. It's gotta happen. Yeah, that's my worry too. I'm praying to paint Jesus. That's not gonna happen. I've been touching it over and over and over, so I'm hoping that at this point the adhesion of this tape is weak enough that I can just peel it off. Yeah, I'll give it another few sticks. This I can actually probably just cut in half and use twice. Yeah, if you guys see me going like this with the tape, that's why. I really don't want this to peel. There you go. Okay. We're getting there, so. Let's see. Come on, please. Oh my god. There we go. That's where we're at. I think I just have to bring it like super close. Alright, let's cut some more tapes. Make sure to run it on my fingers a lot. Do not want this beautiful shade job peeled off a ton. I would be very sad about that. Alright. That is still a little bit too wide, so. And I don't really care about those tiny teeth right now on that tape. Okay, just kind of slowly work our way up now. Kind of cutting this tape whatever thickness we think is appropriate, as long as it can fit in between those thin layers of tape that we put down. I'm gonna turn it. Oops. Don't be afraid to double up on your tape if you kind of miss an area or you just want to cover something. Because it's not like it's going to get covered with tape twice. The tape is just going to layer on itself. So. There we go. Slowly put that tape there. Okay. I still work with small squares though, or rectangles, even if I have these larger areas, just because it lays flatter that way. The bigger your tape is, the more that chance of it to make those ridges. So I just want everything to lay nice and flat. So a lot of times I work with the smaller squares and rectangles, building my way up. Yeah, no worries, Rebel Star. Thank you so much for stopping by and giving me a watch. Appreciate it, man. All right, we're almost there. we are getting there. Okay, there's a small area here I'm gonna take care of first. Right here. There we go. There we go. Thankfully, this tape is very not super sticky right now, so I think our chance of the paint peel is pretty low on some of these pieces, but you never know, so it's always something. Okay, and so these last ones I'm gonna cut some thinner strips, I think, or something. We'll lay it down like that, and then let's see. I do have a thin piece here. This might work. This is pretty good, but you can kind of see right here. Hopefully it won't focus, like focus on my finger, but there's like a small gap right there. Those are the things that you gotta be aware of when you're masking, because if you're not careful, you're gonna get that paint going right in between those two tapes. So you can remedy that by adding more tape. You can do the liquid mask on top of it. Those are, you know, it's just something to be aware of. And kind of catch early. And part of the problem, I think, with just using only tape is that sometimes those small details do get missed and you end up, you know, spraying on a certain area. So let's see, I had paint peel from Noelle's face. Oh no. Oh, I'm so sorry. That's like the worst kind, is when it happens on the face. I have been there. I sympathize with you completely. Like, paint peel is honestly, like, it's already so frustrating to have to deal with it, but then to have it happen on the face is just, oh my god. You gotta like take a step back sometimes when that happens. Oh. Well, I've also had issues when I'm painting enamel eyes, and then I get pretty perfectionist about it, and so I try to like wipe away a lot, and sometimes it gets to a point where I like wipe through the lacquer layer, and I end up like affecting the layer underneath it and kind of starting to erase that, and that's when you gotta take a step back. It's too much. Mistakes happen in every level of the hobby and every point, you know, but the good thing is that there's always ways to correct it. So don't be discouraged if you make mistakes, or, you know, if something doesn't turn out the way you want it to, because there's always a way to correct it, or just redo it, you know. That's frustrating, but it's also doable. There are so many times I've had to redo things. So it's, you know, it's easy to show the final product to make it look like you got it perfect, but there's a lot that goes into it, and even pros mess up. Not saying that I'm the pro, but, you know, I've seen Japanese pro modelers post their failures too. So everyone does it. All right. Okay, we got the back done. There's a long sigh. So here's where it is. Let me see if I can get it really zoomed, because it's just, there we go. It's really loved my, this. So we're all masked here. Anything that we spray should just be these areas here. There is this back here though, so I'm just gonna like quickly put some tape on these spots. I'm just gonna leave it like this, and so you'll like see tape on the back, but that way it won't affect the back and we won't get that overspray. I mean, it can. I do. I don't consider myself a professional because I'm always learning, and there's so many talented people out there that I just feel like my work doesn't even match up sometimes. So that's how I feel about it. For the context of like painting for clients, I say I am, but to myself personally, I think I still have a lot to improve, and I don't consider myself like professional. All right, let's get the rest of this. I don't think I'm gonna do this on all of the back. I just want those areas that we're gonna spray. This will at least protect it a little bit. Don't you give me sass. No! Oh God, no, I don't need more projects. I do not need more projects. Oh, thank you so much, Decrease. That means a lot though. I do appreciate that. I get that too, that I'm too humble, but honestly that is like how I see it, so I won't just like straight up and lie or be, you know, super egotistical about it to you guys. Okay, I'm gonna make these a little smaller just because there was a little gap there. Yikes. Okay, 1 second. Again, it may seem like it's overkill to do this, but you would be surprised at the amount of overspray and stuff that can happen. It's better to prepare for this stuff than to just ignore it and then, you know, you're airbrushing in a hurry or whatever and it ends up messing up something on the back. All right. Okay, we'll do one more across and then I think we're good. I'm going to tentatively ignore this middle portion. So let's see, whatever, I won't show it. This middle portion right here, just because we're not gonna really see that when Mero's gigantic head is in the middle. So even if we do overspray there, that's fine. What's your smallest needle size? I think 0.2, yeah, so it's either 0.18 or 0.2 needle is my smallest one currently. And that's what I use to do most of the shading on you know, all of these pieces here, because this is such a small figure. All right, I think we're good. This should be it in terms of what we needed masked for tonight. So I think we're ready to start transitioning and at least get the base color down for this. We will be using this. So this is a color that I mixed up for the frills. It is basically the same color as this, except I did a couple of maintenance things on here, and so we'll just be spraying this tonight. I also like had a frills color apparently that I mixed here, and then I mixed another one, and you can see they're a little bit slightly different in color. They're very similar, but this one is, I think, is a little bit more neutral color. But I sprayed the other pieces like that, so I'm gonna do it with this one. So to quickly summarize, because we have literally spent 2 hours masking, we finished this piece, we finished this one, and this one, and this one, and this one. And so all of those like needed a lot of masking on them. And so now we are going to switch over to my airbrush as soon as I get these back up on their little clippies. And let's see, this is the wrong one. There we go. Okay. This should not take too long. I'm expecting it to take maybe like 20 minutes-ish. We'll see. But we do want to lay down that base color. Also keep in mind it will look a little bit altered because we already have the green layer down on some of this, and so we're not working with a pure white base. So this color should go on pretty opaque and pretty dark, but just kind of keep that in mind as we paint. So let's see, we got these up. Okay, this is good. I think we're good. I'm gonna put on my Be Right Back real quick and switch up my setup. And the next time you guys see me in like 5 minutes, we will be in my airbrush booth. So be right back, y'all. Okay, can you guys hear me all right? I might be having problems with my camera because of the way that I disconnected it. Okay, you can hear me? Alright, let me disconnect and reconnect my camera. Oh yeah, let's see, it just says it stopped working. And let's try plugging that in again. Yikes. Okay, I'm gonna switch it over and see if I can diagnose this. Oh! Wait, no, dang it. Okay, so that's not good. Let me check my camera real quick. For whatever reason, it's not registering. Okay. Let me turn it off and turn it on again. Okay, so it's opening up as like an import, but it's not letting me do this. And this has never happened before. So, what's the deal here? Let's see. Alright, I'm going to open that. Oh, I see. Maybe this might be why. Okay. No, that was not why. Dang. Oh, we were so close. We were so close. Let's see if I can. I'm gonna keep it on the be right back again. And see what I can do about this. It might be just not our night tonight. Let's see. It does not help that I am like not 100% savvy on it. Okay, let's see real quick. Nope, that did not work. Okay. Well, is everyone having a good night? Alright, I am activating this and it is just not registering. And now none of my camera is registering. Actually, what is my Streamlabs even doing? I like can't even close a tab. Oh my god. I might have killed it, y'all. Oh. Nope. Can you guys like see if I'm transitioning it? Because I'm trying something a little different. Okay, good. Well, at least you guys aren't seeing my failure. I have it set up in a way where you can't see it right now, so that's fine. Yeah, no worries. Just bear with me for just a bit as I try to figure this out. For whatever reason, my camera has like decided to not connect whatsoever, and it's only connecting for the SD card. So I wonder if I remove the SD card, then maybe we'll use our noggins and try to diagnose one by one. Oh! That might have worked. Give me one sec. It shows it as like recording on my thing, but it's not showing up on my stream. Okay. Let's see. Configure. Let's try one more thing. Because at least now it's showing up on my, you know, your camera has like a little screen on it that shows whether or not, like, what's in the frame of the photo. It wasn't even showing that before, but now it is. So that's already a step up from before. The problem is because I'm streaming, Streamlabs does not like when I'm moving this stuff around and trying to work with video settings, apparently. Alternatively, I could try one more thing. Let's see. I'm gonna mute my mic just for a minute and try something. Alright, I don't think this is gonna work for the rest of tonight. The only way that I can see getting around this would be if I restarted my Streamlabs, but unfortunately I'd have to end the stream. So let me get back to my regular layout here and see if there's one more thing I can do. Yeah, it's just not showing up. So unless you guys wanted to see the painting, I can remake the stream really quick and then watch, or we can just end it tonight and like it's already 10, so I don't know if it would be worth it, but it's been promised, and so like, would you be okay if I just restarted this really quick and then went ahead and hopefully figured it out? If not, I'll tweet out and be like, I'm sorry. Are you sure? I'm so sorry about the technical difficulties. I like honestly didn't expect this. This is the first time it's ever happened. Maybe not the first, but it's the first time like when transitioning it's ever happened. And I'm really surprised that of all the times now it chose to do this. I'm also not gonna switch my camera device because you might get a view of my webcam. Alright, well, I'm really sorry about the technical difficulties. It just seems like today is just full of tediousness and things not working. So what I will do, I guess, in that case is I don't want to leave this tape on for too long. Maybe what I'll do is tomorrow I'll do kind of a surprise midstream, and so tomorrow some point on Wednesday I will stream the airbrushing of just these pieces because I'm gonna do it tomorrow anyway. It doesn't make any sense not to, and like I'll be at home tomorrow, so if you guys get a weird Twitch pop-up, like that's probably why I'm doing a weird stream about airbrushing. Okay, if you guys are fine with that, it'll be a little odd, but I think that will work best, and that way you guys will actually get to see what's happening, because otherwise, like, we would just be done with the pieces and all you would be seeing is the masking, and that doesn't make any sense. So it'll probably be a really short stream, but that way at least we could get the base coat down, and I can even do the shading, and then we can just be done with it, and then that way there's a visual record of it as well. I think that will work for best. So keep an eye out for tomorrow, I guess. At some point I'll be streaming, probably, I don't know. I honestly don't know when. It'll just it'll happen. So if it happens and you see it, great. I'll put a tweet out, I guess, about when I plan to do it, like 15 minutes before or whatever, and then we'll just go for it. And if you can make it, great. If not, check the VOD, but that way there's a record of it, and you guys didn't, you wait this whole time and then not to see me paint. That just seems not fair, and that's not really the purpose of these streams either. So thank you so much for cooperating with me in these technical difficulties. Hopefully you can make it some point tomorrow, we'll see. But if not, that's cool too. We'll have the VOD, and then we're not going to skip the stream on Thursday. We'll still be streaming on Thursday. That will be 2 days from now, 24th, and same thing, we'll be doing detail work, etc. So if all of that is okay, then I will see some of you guys hopefully tomorrow. And if not, then I will see you Thursday. I hope you guys all have a good rest of your night. Again, I'm sorry that the camera ended up not working at the very end. Really did not expect that. But again, like you guys said, it happens. So thanks so much, everyone. I know I said it again, but have a good night. And yeah, see you guys tomorrow for some airbrushing, I promise.